Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and thank you for tuning into my channel. I thank you very much that you're all here, for another upload that I do. Today, I'm going to talk about things that I've bought at the dollar store. Some have been just as good as what you get in the store, but there are a few on here that I would never want to buy again at the dollar store. I didn't really think a whole lot of it, and then in that case, I would just stick with more of a brand name type item. So to get started, one of the things that I bought at the dollar store was dishwashing liquid. It was Ajax. Ajax is pretty good. I can't complain. I'm used to using Dawn dishwashing detergent, but for maybe a fallback, not quite a step across, I have to give Ajax credit. It did okay for what it was. The next thing that I've bought is laundry detergent. That's actually one of the items I would probably not consider getting again. Again, I'm used to using a better quality detergent like Tide, Gain. There's a new one that I've started using called Persil, Persil. They do show commercials, ever so often on TV about that. But I don't think I would ever purchase laundry detergent again at the dollar store. The next one, fabric softener, I feel the same way. I didn't care for the fabric softener. I have bought dryer sheets. That wasn't so bad. It's funny how the dryer sheet turned out to be a better item than the liquid fabric softener. Don't ask me why. I've bought cookies. I've bought many varieties from them. I've bought their version of an Oreo. I have bought, butter cookies, shortbread cookies, everything in between. Never a problem with those. They've always been good. Kitchen utensils. Believe it or not, for $1, instead of going to another store that we all know of that starts with a W, why go and pay $4 and $5 for the same utensil when you can get it at the dollar store for $1? I've bought a couple of spatulas from there. I have bought several slotted spoons from there, and they're still holding up as we speak. And this was 7, 8, 9 years ago. So I feel I got more, than my money's worth out of those items. Canned goods. I've bought everything from canned vegetables, canned fruits, canned tomatoes. Let's see. I've also bought things like Chef Boyardee, cans of soup, just as good as what you get in the regular store, grocery store, the store that starts with a W as well. Candy. Their candy is good. They have a whole different assortment. I usually like to go there for holiday candy, Christmas, Easter, Halloween, any festivity, holiday type thing. I usually like to go there for their candy. Especially, I would have to say Christmas would be the most important time for me. Especially, they always seem to have a decent selection of candy canes. I don't know why, but they tend to. Toothpaste, just like you buy in the store. AIM, Pepsodent, Ultra Bright. Sometimes I use Colgate. A lot of the toothpaste that I like to use are the older ones that people use back, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, back in those times. Toothbrush, I get a better deal on a toothbrush a lot of the time at the dollar store than if I go to other stores and get it. Bars of soap and body wash, absolutely, I've done it. There is one type of bar soap that the dollar store sells that the other stores do not. I like to use a type of soap, and again, I'm not endorsing anything, it's just something I like to use, called Palmolive. Can't find it anywhere else but at the dollar store. Don't know why. Plastic containers where you store your food. Be careful which ones you buy. I usually like to buy the Betty Crocker ones with the red lid because they tend, when you close it, it tends to snap. There's another one that they have that the lid goes on, but it does not. To me, it's more flimsy. So you do have to look at which ones you get. They're not all the same. And this is a good one. A lot of people around the holidays or any other time that like to use a disposable baking pan, roasting pan, lasagna pan. They come in a 2-pack and they're made out of aluminum. And you get it for $1. And those come in pretty handy. I've made desserts, banana pudding. I've put it in a lasagna pan and I've taken it to festivities and parties with no problem. They work great. I've also bought Tylenol at the dollar store. That seems to be every bit as good as the brand name that you get elsewhere. Gauze, like if you hurt yourself, the gauze and the tape. I forgot to mention tape, but that's also there. I've bought that in the past. Not too bad, decent quality for what it is. Hydrogen peroxide, yes, I have. Matter of fact, a lot of the time, I don't have it in front of me, but I have bought hydrogen peroxide at the dollar store. You tend to get a little bit of a bigger bottle peroxide for your money than what you get in the other store, at least when I bought it. And last but not least, I have bought alcohol, rubbing alcohol, isopropyl. It's both 70%, 91. I've bought both of those. Just as good as you get elsewhere. But like I said, except for the laundry detergent and the fabric softener, the rest of it is all thumbs up in my book as far as what I've bought at the dollar store. Now, I would like to bring in, I know you've been sitting there patiently, I want to bring in Jan. Jan from New York City Saves Money.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you? Roughly right around a week ago, she herself did a segment about dollar store items. And I happened to hear, some of the items that was bought. And again, I was trying to look for a topic to come up with. Sometimes a topic is not as easy as it seems. And it triggered something in my mind. Well, I wonder what would happen if I gave the dollar store items a shot just to see, what would happen.
Sure, why not? I mean, like, you shop at dollar stores too, so it's always nice to hear someone else's point of view as well. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Steve, where I live, I don't have a lot of dollar stores. There used to be a couple, but then this neighborhood got too big for its britches. And I'm just saying, and a lot of people, because the rents are very high, the store rents, so higher end stores are more or less around this area. And the dollar stores are just not here. I have to go quite a ways to get to a dollar store. And the money I'm spending to get to the dollar store would outweigh any value because it's just going to defeat the purpose. So what happens is, luckily, I have some friends and relatives that live close to dollar stores, and they ask me, and they're very kind, Jan, would you like something from the dollar store? And I'm like, oh, thank you. And I am going to say yes to it. But I could tell you this much, Steve, you hit on very good items. Yeah, like go ahead. There was something you wanted to say just now. What was that?
Right. I happened to leave out 3 more items, and these are also thumbs up, and you might vouch for this.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, one of the items that I bought is the same thing you bought, as you mentioned. I have bought creamer, the powdered creamer. I've done that. I've done the liquid. I have bought their coffee. It's not bad. It's pretty good. No complaints.
Yes.
I'll tell you something else I bought at the dollar store. I meant to say this here, but I didn't. I have bought their hot chocolate.
Oh, how was that?
As good as what you get elsewhere. No complaints.
Awesome.
I mean, I can't remember the exact brand. It was either Swiss Miss or Carnation. It was one of the two.
So you got a name brand at the dollar store.
Yes.
That's really a good find.
Yeah.
Years ago, I was able to get some Irish Spring soap, a bunch of them, because otherwise they're kind of up there. If not, so I have a few of them still to this day, and they're really quite good. I'll tell you, the most recent win was when a friend of mine brought over a box of tea for me, 100 count. I showed it on the video for those who didn't see the video. 100 tea bags. Steve, I'm telling you, it tastes identical to Tetley.
To Lipton?
To Tetley. If you
to Tetley. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Lipton has a little stronger, and I love, don't get me wrong, I love my Lipton as well. But if you enjoy like a Tetley level of flavor, this is for you. $1, 100 count. Are you telling me, let's think about this, a cup of tea costs literally 1 penny a cup?
That's what I was about to say just that.
I could get 100 cups. Let's think about this in reality. Just let's imagine 100 actual cups that are filled with water and tea bags put in it to gain that perspective of the value. And people spend $2, $3 on a cup of tea. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
That's a waste. That's a waste of money.
It really, really is. And if you have savings goals, see, this is the thing with me. My channel, as you know, Steve, emphasizes savings goals. And a lot of people say, I can't save. I can't save. What people need to do in that position is consider going over your inventory and your habits. But you mentioned, like, for example, getting something like alcohol. Let's think about this. How different can alcohol is a scientific composition, right?
Mm-hmm.
How different, they couldn't label it alcohol if it wasn't. How different could the Dollar Tree version versus going to an expensive store version? It's the same composition. You see, like those Vapo Rub type thing? I got that in the dollar store. Exact thing. Petroleum jelly, like Vaseline? Same exact dollar store version, same exact composition.
Well, I mean,
this is a robot call, I'm sure. Excuse me 1 second. Oh, I love robot calls.
Vicks Vapo Rub is exactly what it is. I mean, there's only so much you can do with it. Vaseline, I mean, it's petroleum jelly. Petroleum jelly, you don't have different levels of petroleum jelly. It is what it is. It's exact. Whether you buy Vaseline brand or you go to the dollar store and get their brand.
Yeah.
It's more or less going to be the same thing across the board, because how can you change it? It is what it is.
What you're paying for a packaging, like I personally don't need. I mean, it's so similar, the container of the petroleum jelly. It's so similar, the container, the Vapo Rub type stuff. This is crazy. If you could buy baking soda there, get it. If you could buy cornstarch, get it. These are things. You've had success with cookies there, you said, huh?
I have, different ones. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. And You know, sometimes you get unexpected company. You want to be able to offer your unexpected company if you make them a cup of tea or coffee. So cookies. Always keep things like that in the house. Always, because just put them away. They last a while. You do not have to worry. You always have something that you could put out without breaking an arm, or a leg to pay for it either.
Like I said, I haven't been to the dollar store in a little while. I just thought of another item thinking back.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that my list is broken up. I've even bought, we all love, every once in a while, we all love a good little snack cake, our little Debbie's, our Tasty Cakes, our Dolly Madison's, whatever they may be.
Right.
I've bought snack cakes at the dollar store, just as good as you get elsewhere.
That's right. That's right. And
honey buns, I've done those. I think I bought.
Yes.
I think I've bought their version of a Swiss roll.
Yeah. You know, it's not bad, Steve. Another thing, you just sprung a thing up in my head. Years ago, when there was a dollar store not far, my mother used to like to buy AIM toothpaste. And the green one, the gel for a dollar.
That's a good,
that was a great deal. So you could still get that. That's very, very good.
You can. When it comes to toothpastes, again, I'm not doing a product review here. I tend to use a lot of the older stuff from back in the 60s, the 50s, the 70s.
Yeah.
I like AIM. I like to use one called Ultra Bright. I use another one called Pepsodent.
Yeah.
Close Up toothpaste if you like a cinnamon flavored paste.
Right.
But right now I'm currently using Colgate Clean Mint with baking soda and peroxide. A little bit more money,
right.
But I have to admit it's a pretty good thing. It's not overkill on the mint.
It's all included, everything at once, and that's savings.
Yeah.
Tell you what I don't recommend in my experience. Everybody's experience is different. In my experience, I don't think it's worth it. Their version of bathroom tissue.
No.
It may look like, you get all these on the cheap for not much money. Sure, you're not forking out a lot, but what you're doing is you're tricking your mind mentally. There's not enough ply. There's not enough tissue on it. You find yourself rapidly changing it, and that can be very annoying. Most people aren't interested to keep switching their bathroom tissue roll every minute.
No. And funny though, the bathroom tissue, no. But I have bought a pretty good. I have gotten a good deal on paper towels. I went in there. I don't know if they still sell it. There was a roll that I used to buy that was like 140 sheets for $1. You have to look at the sheet count. You can't just go and grab.
That's right. A little bit of studying is worth it.
Would I rate it up there in the Bounty category? Pretty close. I mean,
good
for what it is.
And if you find plenty, Plenty, in your dollar store, don't walk and buy it.
Get it?
Because that is the darn closest to Bounty. I think it's literally the same product. It comes from Procter & Gamble, so I think it's actually the same exact product. You would think I had stock in the company the way I brag about this thing, but I don't. The coffee creamers, don't feel afraid to try those. I know you've tried them. You had success.
Right.
I have tried the acetaminophen. I've tried their version of aspirin. I'm not giving medical advice, but I'm explaining that they have worked for me.
For you.
I'm sharing, my experience. Here's the thing why I like those dollar stores. You have more or less an idea of what the price is going to be. And if you're on a totally really tight budget, but you need to get them, you write it down. So, okay, Steve, remember I mentioned to you earlier, I was talking to Steve before we went on the show or earlier today about this pink version of dish liquid. You said you still have seen it, huh?
Yes, I have.
All right, now, I think they call it Lux or something. It's been around many years.
Sounds right. Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
Yes, it smells wonderful. What it is, it's not like the strength of Dawn. So if you're looking for a Dawn detergent, that's not the one.
That's not the no.
But if you're looking for a mild, gentle dish liquid that's not hard on your hands and has a very pleasant smell, it's the pink one. You might need a little elbow grease, but if you're really scratching till payday, listen, I talk straight on my show because I want the people who live paycheck to paycheck mainly as the ones tuning in. It's nice when everybody tunes in, but it may not be relevant, okay? But I'm talking to the person that literally lives paycheck to paycheck, but they need something. They would rather spend, instead of $3 on some dish liquid till payday, they'll spend $1 on it, and they'll get something a little inferior to tie them over until payday, for example. Use that other $2 towards food.
Yeah.
Food versus dish liquid, guess what's going to win? Food's going to win.
Food. Mm-hmm.
So you could get the fancier dish liquid on payday type thing. But I do recommend it if you're looking for a mild. It also works nice and gently on clothing. Steve, didn't you mentioned earlier you did purchase some detergents, but you weren't 100% sold on them, huh?
Not really. What it was is it wasn't. It's not that the detergent didn't wash the clothes. I mean, it did that, but I like a little bit of fragrance.
Yeah.
To the detergent. This didn't have it. This was very neutral smelling.
Gotcha. Now, wouldn't you agree, Steve? Things like, for example, a box of sugar with a name that you're not familiar with. So it's not Domino. Sugar is sugar. So if you could get a box of sugar to stretch you over to payday, you get the generic or whatever dollar brand name sugar. Who cares about that label? Sugar, granulated sugar is granulated sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you make your distinctions on certain things, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I like your list, though. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, that, like I said, part of it, as I was talking, came to me, a few other items. But, and go to the dollar store. I mean, why pay $3, $4, $5, $6 for the same exact item?
Certain things are the exact item, literally are the exact composition. You're right.
Yeah. No, save the money. You can buy more than one if you need it,
Exactly.
If it's $3 over there or $1 over here, get 3 here versus your 3 there. More bang for your buck. I'm a bang for your buck person. That's the way I am. I don't consider myself cheap or anything, but I definitely, want to get a lot of bang for my money. I know I'm
Don't forget that tea. Give the tea a whirl.
Next, matter of fact, I'm not too terribly far from a Dollar Tree. I might just do that. Get a box of that tea.
I mean, a penny for a cup of tea. Really?
I know. Well, I'm going to go ahead and, bring this segment to a close. I mean, I'm glad that, you stopped by and.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was fun listening to your list.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm glad you did your show, and then it triggered me.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm just going to let the people know that I will include your video down in my description box or pinned post. That way they can go and watch yours as well.
Nice. That's very nice. And you know what? Once I get that this is published, then I'll put it on one of my videos too.
Okay.
For those who missed it.
Right, yeah, for replay and all that. Okay. But I'll do that. All of my veteran subscribers, as always, thank you for being here. If you're new, welcome aboard. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, you're just passing by, you saw the video. If you are considering subscribing, you're not certain, by all means, go back and look at some of my other content that I've put up to give you an idea if that's what you want, to be a part of, because my subject matter is random. It's very random. You don't know what it's going to be. So definitely look at my other content to determine if you want to be a subscriber. And if you do, I really appreciate it. And also, if I may, go over to Jan from New York City Saves Money channel as well. She has great content.
Thank you.
Budget, you're welcome. Budget. Hers is a little bit of everything as well. She's got budgeting, grocery store, shopping. Just you won't be disappointed, but definitely check it out. And
Well, I love this channel, Steve, and I really hope more people head over to this Steve Young 74 channel. And it's so easy actually to get to your channel, Steve. Steve, a space Young 74.
right,
That's it.
it comes right up in the search. Right.
Just the way it's read on the screen right now, that's how you find Steve.
Yes, that's what you see. Yeah. All right. Okay, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you soon with some other content. And I should say we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.